Half-Life Nation, I'm down here in La Ventana, Mexico with Wyatt Miller, brand manager for Slingshot Sports.
Yep, it's job keeps me busy, and then we run this place as a side gig, and I have all the guests come down and try all the gear. But one of the cool parts is when you have all the newest gear from next year and 2 years showing up here, and I have all these guests who are learning to wing and coming from different levels, they get to hop on it, and I get to see firsthand how the real consumer, the real customer is going to react to the new products.
Yeah, so you get, it's basically Slingshot R&D Center down here in La Ventana.
Yeah.
And for us, it's a big playground because we always have the latest and greatest stuff. It's so much fun. For people who need tips and a couple pointers, Wyatt's able to give lessons down here, and obviously on our Half-Life trips, I sit down here and help people out as well. But this video, we're here to talk about the Wing Craft V2.
V2, the next generation. The first generation went over well. Those were great boards, but the second generation is kind of tuned up and even better, and there's been expanded sizes. So what we got here is two of the smaller ones. The 50 liters the smallest. Then there's a 60, a 70, 80, 90, 105, 120, and 140. So it's expanded to a really big size range. They aren't all the same shape, so we really tailored, you know, the shape and the design to that size board. What you see in a 50 liter is not going to be the exact same scaled up to 140, because what you want in a 140 liter board is not exactly the same as a 50. So we've really tailored each size to the board, and what we've really focused on with these is having a really flat bottom and a really compact shape. So the flat bottom allows you to get planing with ultimate planing efficiency. So you're going to get up to speed incredibly quickly. And when we were first testing these boards, one of the coolest things that I learned was that I could actually bring the board down to the water and go skimming across the water on the bottom of the board, even carving upwind and downwind. And then I would retain all my speed because of that flat bottom, and then just a little shift of my weight to my back foot, and boom, you pop up on foil. And then our team riders really like it because when they land a trick, they maintain their forward speed and they're able to bounce right back up onto foil, making it look cleaner and better. These boards, again, they're prototypes that we're just testing with you here. So there's a few features that aren't correct on these. One is we realized after we made these that we could save like ½ a pound to a pound if we did a brushed carbon finish, so sanding through a lot of the paint to get rid of a lot of the paint weight and bringing some of that beautiful carbon through that you can kind of see here. So they're actually going to be a little different color because they've been sanded through, but it does save a ton of weight. And then the 80 liter and down have longer foil tracks that extend out the back of the board, which is a really cool feature because you can just loosen up all the bolts on your pedestal, slide your whole foil right out of the back of the board without removing the bolts. And same thing, you want to put it on another board, you just line up the bolts and slide it right in from the back in. So they're out the back foil tracks on the 80 liter and down. And then on the bigger ones, we wanted more adjustability, and we wanted to be able to get that foil further forward to support the longer nose on the bigger ones. So they don't go out the back, they just got an extended foil track that gives you a ton of range of movement there. And then they all have both offset front foot, so some people only want to go with 1 foot forward, especially on the smaller sizes. So you can either do an offset front foot or you can do the tri-strap or Y-strap option there.
The edges, you know, if we look at the rails of this board, it's a lot different than the Wing Craft V1.
Yeah, you had beveled rails on the Wing Craft V1, which just kind of makes softer touchdowns, but we didn't want soft touchdowns anymore. It's kind of not the way that the design trends are going. We wanted nice, hard, flat rails that give you a good quick release from the water. They don't kind of suck into the water, and then it does get softer as you go further forward on the rail to make it a little bit more forgiving. But instead of maximizing the forgivingness on touchdown, we want to be able to touch down, keep our speed, bounce right back on the foil.
And then when you look at these, when you look at the sizes, what type of a wing foiler is this? Is the Wing Craft V2 their first board? Is this a more intermediate or advanced rider? Like who's the one who's going to love this board?
Yeah, so you know, you see the design really change between 80 and 90 liters. From 80 liters and down, it's super compact. This one's 4 foot 5 inches at 70 liter and 4 foot 3 inches at 50 liter. So they're 80 liter and down are going to be super compact, and just, you know, that's what the most advanced kind of foiler is going to want. And then as you go 90 and up, they don't have as much of a squared tail. They pin the tail down a little bit, so you have more control over that big high volume tail as you're pumping to get going. And we stretched them out a little bit. We find that having a little bit longer board helps you track straight as a beginner intermediate rider, and helps you to build speed more easily than the short, wide, compact shape. So you do see a change there. The 80 liter and down are going to be, you know, geared more towards the advanced rider, super compact, and then they start to stretch out and get longer, 90 liter and up, to make them kind of easier to achieve speed and get on the foil for that, you know, low intermediate.
So that's a Slingshot Wing Craft V2. As a reward for you watching this video, we got a tip for you.
I see a lot of people trying to learn their jibes and their transitions, and the hardest part about a jibe is the foot switch, controlling it during the switch fit. So what I try to teach my guests to do is, instead of carving a jibe, you know, releasing the wing, rotating your hands, and then trying to switch your feet, let's just isolate the foot switch. And so whether you're coming in, you know, switch stance or regular, try to just bear off a little bit, so you're running with the wind a little bit, but go in a straight line and work on your foot switch in a straight line. If you can get a good foot switch going in a straight line, you're gonna have an easy time carving and not having to switch your feet later. And the real key is that, number one, it has to be a step or multiple steps. It can't be a hop. If you're doing a hop to switch your feet, you're taking all the pressure off that board, and the foil's gonna lift like crazy. It needs to be a number of steps. And then when I was learning, the best tip I got from our, you know, top pro kite foiler, Fred Hope, was like, he said, bring it down to the water before you do your foot switch, and then make sure it's multiple steps, not a hop. And the third thing was that anytime you're relieving pressure, you're gonna pick up one foot, you need to be pushing the foil and the board down towards the water as you pick up your foot. Don't pick up your foot and let the board come up to you. You're trying to push it down towards the water, away from it, to be able to lighten that pressure on your foot to do the switch. Don't hop and don't pick up your foot and let the foil come up. You want to be pushing it down towards the water the whole time.
Yeah, I think that's a great tip, and if you can do those foot movements in a straight line, you're going to have a lot better chance at having those foot changes come when you're in the midst of the jibe. So, Wyatt, it's been a fantastic week down here. 6 out of 7 days of wind, quads, open bar, shared cars, all the gear I could ever want. I don't even have to bring my own stuff if I don't want to. I can just ride everything that's there. It's been fantastic. Yeah. Thank you so much for having us. If any of you want to come down to Baja, it's one of my favorite places in the world. Check out Pro Windsurf La Ventana. Tell Wyatt that Tim sent you on down here. You'll get a take-home bottle of tequila. Nothing wrong with that. And you'll get instruction, tips, and you'll get to hang out with a bunch of great people and have a good time. So hope this video was useful for you. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out some of our other videos. Most importantly, get out there on the water and have a great time. Find the gear that's best for you, and feel free to leave comments, and we'll answer any questions that you have. From Mexico, we will sign off and say adios, amigos.
Later, guys.